Hey my friends, I am Antonio Dawson. I'm a psychological therapist and emotional support coach. I'm also the author of the book God's Seed for Success, and I am a motivational speaker. Today, I have been listening to people throughout this pandemic, and so much people have been facing life and they've been experiencing so many roadblocks and obstacles in their way. And recently someone asked me, how can I develop an attitude that will make me unstoppable? Because I'm always inconsistent and not following through with my goals. And today I have seven tips for you to live unstoppable. So let's get right into this video. Tip number one, you must become your biggest fan. Many people are waiting for others to cheer you on to become your best self, to unlock your dreams, your purpose. But you must become your best fan if you're ever going to be unstoppable. You must first become the cheerleader in your world, cheering for yourself when nobody else is there. When no one is on the sideline, you still got to run the race and you still got to push yourself in that journey. Tip number two, develop a voice of self-compassion. There's so many people out there who are so critical, so hard on themselves. And when you're hard on yourself, it makes it difficult for you to actually see where you've made mistakes and are willing to make the necessary steps to achieve the goals or to overcome the things that you have done wrong. So you have to become so compassionate with yourself. When failure presents itself, you can then say, you know what, I am re-evaluating. I can do this. Becoming that voice of hope, speaking to yourself like a real good friend would speak to you when you're down. Oftentimes when people are down, they beat themselves down and they become so hard on themselves that they cannot accomplish their goals. If you want to become unstoppable, you must become your best friend. The voice in your head must become compassionate, speaking to yourself with care. Third, you got to learn to speak back to the negative automatic thoughts in your head. We call these knots in psychology. Thoughts are not facts, and sometimes out of nowhere we'll have thoughts that cause us to feel down. The way we think, the thoughts that comes into our head will affect our mood, our behavior, and how we feel emotionally. But when we learn to speak back to those automatic thoughts that comes into your mind, I can't do it, I'm a failure, I'm tired, I'm weak, this is pointless. You gotta speak back to these voices. Don't accept the thoughts that comes into your mind as if they are your reality. When you learn to speak back to them, you are developing an authority in your mind that gives you clarity to achieve the things you want to achieve. But if you don't speak back to them, you'll be trapped in a vicious cycle where you're constantly up and down. Tip number four, prioritize your purpose more than your pleasures. There's so many persons who want to be unstoppable, want to be great, want to be successful, but you invest more time in your pleasures than in your purpose. You got to learn to prioritize your purpose. What is it that you want to achieve? Your energy, your time must become invested in it. Greatness comes from great sacrifice. If you want to see great change, you got to prioritize your purpose over your pleasure. When you want to go out and have fun and party and do those things, ensure that you have that balance where you put in time and invest in time in your purpose. Tip number five, make a plan for your life and show up for that plan every day. What do I mean by this? Treat your plan, your vision, your ideas, your dreams like a job. You show up on the job even when you don't feel like. There are many days I don't feel like going to work, but I have to go because it pays the bill. You got to see your dreams and the goal that you have as something that will be beneficial for you in the long run. So you got to treat it like a job. Show up even when you don't feel like. Show up, make that plan, make that vision, make it plain. Show up even when you're tired. Your emotions are telling you don't do this. Your feeling is saying put it off for tomorrow. Don't procrastinate. Show up for that plan. Get it done regardless of how you feel. Tip number six, Use your failure as an opportunity to become better. This is the problem. Many of us, we experience failure along the life journey, and oftentimes we stay in the rut of failure without understanding that there's a smooth journey ahead, and if ahead of that rut that we find ourselves in. But if you never pick yourself out of your failure, you will live in a place of defeat, not knowing you have more within you. So see your failure as an opportunity to learn. See your failure as something that will give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. What are you going through today? If you fail, it's a perfect opportunity to reflect and recognize that you might have done something wrong that you can now make right. And the final one, do one thing well and move on. Many people want to be unstoppable, but they have their heads in too much places. And when your mind is all over the place and not focused on one thing, then you will find that you can't really put your creative power into that dream, into that goal. So my advice to you is to do one thing well and then move on to the next, and you will be able to see significant growth and change, and you will see yourself operating in the spirit of excellence. There's so many people out there with great potential, but when you start to apply these 7 principles in your life, you will see change. I don't know who needs to be unstoppable today, but I certainly do. I've been applying these principles to my life, and I've seen changes over the years, and I know that if you apply these principles, you will see changes too. God bless.